two-time Stanley Cup champion Alex Killorn, who has recently signed a 4-year, $6.25 million deal with the Anaheim Ducks this offseason, has recently expressed in an interview where he wishes to end his career. Now, even though this is only a 4-year contract, this may happen sooner than we expect. We're going to be going over this whole situation in this video, but before we do, we notice that 98% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel, so if you're looking for a place to get all your news from your favorite team and around the NHL, you're right in the right place. Make sure to stay a while and subscribe so you don't miss any of the breaking news from this season, which is coming up very, very soon, so you won't want to miss anything that's going to happen over the next few weeks and months along throughout the season. But back to the topic on hand, Alex Killorn has recently expressed that he would be willing to retire on Montreal Canadiens, his favorite team growing up, in an interview recently with Chris Nyland. He said, "I grew up a Habs fan. My whole life I was a Canadiens fan. I remember wearing a Saku Koivu jersey. I hated the Boston Bruins. I rooted against Boston. If you asked me when I was younger where I always wanted to play, it was Montreal. But going through free agency, we really didn't talk to Montreal, so it wasn't really a thought. But Montreal will be a great place to play, you know. If it was to end my career, play a year there, I think it would be special. A special place to play for sure." And now, I'm not going to do too much on this right now. I just want to see what Noah gets of this from a Montreal perspective. So Noah, what do you think about Alex Killorn saying this in this recent interview?
I'm not a huge fan of it, to be completely honest with you. You know, I don't like the idea of having Killorn on the Habs now or even down the road, like even if it's 2-3 years down the road. And I know he's got absolutely stellar cup experience. I mean, he just won two cups in I think it's 5 years, 4 or 5 years with Tampa. I mean, Tampa's been an absolute wagon for as long as I can remember. But I don't see where he fits. You know, Montreal is young. They're still going to be young in 4 years when his contract is up. I don't see where he fits.
Yeah, I can see where you come from on this situation, but even though with this 4-year deal, I think that Killorn may become a Montreal Canadien sooner than those 4 years, before that contract expires. We know that the Anaheim Ducks are in a situation right now, similar to Montreal, where their team is just very young, and they're looking to make a playoff push over the next few years, and just keep adding these young players, and Alex Killorn certainly adds that experience to the team. So
Yeah, he does,
even though it is 4 years, I think that the Anaheim Ducks might not want to be paying him $6.25 million in a few years' time, you know, when they're going to get some more younger players to move into this roster. And obviously the experience is absolutely important for this team. You know, the Anaheim Ducks, same as Montreal right now, don't have too much playoff experience. So you can get a guy with 2 Stanley Cups who's been a very consistent point scorer over his career. I mean, you can see like 60, 59, 49, 40, 47 points. He's not a guy that's going to blow you away with those points, but he's been a 0.5 points per game player in the regular season and in the playoffs, which I think is the most important.
Yeah.
Being able to have
That's
77
huge.
points in 140 games in the playoffs is absolutely massive. So I think adding that to a Montreal Canadiens roster, which no longer has very many players from that roster that they made the Stanley Cup final in, I think that would be a very important addition to the Montreal Canadiens roster if the upcoming years, if they do make a push in the playoffs. But Noah, what do you think about the idea of Alex Killorn leaving the Anaheim Ducks before that contract has expired and potentially going to Montreal in a situation where they may be making the playoffs sooner than expected?
I just think you got to look at, like, he's 33 now, and how many guys on the Habs are old? Like, you know, their core is pretty much under the age of 25. You know, maybe David Savard is probably the oldest guy on the team. You know, and I don't know if, like, even if the 4-year deal, he's 37 when that deal expires. You know, in 4 years' time, Cole Caulfield, Nick Suzuki will be what? 25, 26, 27 range. Like, they're still relatively young. And then you got a 37-year-old Alex Killorn in there who, and I know he was pretty much like the glue in Tampa and kind of like, I'll say this for all the basketball fans, like the Draymond Green sort of glue, but I don't know. I just think he'd slow him down. I don't know.
Yeah.
I might be crazy for that, but
you know, I do understand where you're coming from in that situation, but I think that would be a very good addition to, you know, the bottom 6, I'll say, because right now the Montreal Canadiens lines, they absolutely do not need a guy like Alex Killorn right now. Like, the Montreal Canadiens aren't going for a playoff push this year, nor the next year, but I wouldn't say in a few years they're too far off. We know how good their prospect pool is and how good their top 6 is right now. Acquiring Alex Newhook this offseason, having a healthy Cole Caulfield, a healthy Uri Slavkovsky, an amazing Nick Suzuki, and a Kirby Dach on this team, I think that this team could easily make a playoff push if they wanted to. But a guy like Alex Killorn, if you can get him retained, before that contract expires when he's still a bit on the younger side. 'Cause 37, I agree, that's a bit old for today's NHL to keep up with the pace of these young guys. I don't think he'd be able to do it. But if they can get him before to add a bit of experience to this, they're going to have Brendan Gallagher. Likely, I don't see being on this team too much longer, with his age, his injury habits, his contract, and then just adding someone else to replace him, like an Alex Killorn, I think would be a very good fit for the Montreal Canadiens. And I think that wanting to play with a team like Montreal, from his favorite team growing up, it's something special, and it means a lot more to him than if it was somewhere else. So I think that he'd have a bit of a bigger drive to play better in Montreal than he would with any other team. But
look at Joe Thornton a couple years ago signing in Toronto. And I know Joe Thornton was 41 or 42 when he signed in Toronto, but I don't see I see a lot of similarities. Older, chasing a cup. Well, I guess he doesn't really need to chase a cup, but trying to go like on a last run. I don't know. I really don't like it. And, speaking it from a Habs point of view and a Habs perspective, I'd much rather see them spend that, even if they retain 50%. So that's $3 million. I'd much rather see them spend that $3 million on a younger guy. Maybe, I don't know who he a free agent at that point in time, but I'd rather see them spend that money elsewhere. And I don't know. I could be wrong. I might take some heat for that in the comments, but that's what I think.
The salary is a bit high. I mean, I'll agree with that. Even though he is only 33 right now, turning 33. $6.25 million is a lot of money for 4 years for someone who obviously is a very important part to whatever team he goes on, has that playoff experience, has that regular season experience. He played on that Syracuse Crunch team as well, those dynasty years, which pretty much just turned into the Tampa Bay Lightning. So he's been around dynasty teams, and he knows how to make a team work with what they have from the Tampa Bay Lightning, what they've done over the past few years. So I think that he will be important to whatever team, but that salary would be a bit of a problem for a lot of people, I think. Like you said, I think it's absolutely more important to get a younger guy, probably more speed, probably a bit better defense, someone who can be able to chase a puck up and down the ice, and a much higher pace in today's game than Alex Killorn. It would be more important to get someone like that rather than spending, like you said, 50% retained would still be around $3 million on that for those remaining years. So I think you're right in that sense. But if Montreal was looking for a glue type guy, like you said, or like Brendan Gallagher, for example, if they were to replace him, I think Alex Killorn would be a very good potential fit for that. But I don't think they would need to go out of their way to find another player in that situation for the team that they're going to have coming up. But let us know in the comments what you guys think about this as well. Noah, do you have any more final thoughts before we close this video out?
I don't know. I just sticking with my guns here. I don't like it.
Yeah, I can't really blame you in the situation that you guys are in. Minnesota, whole different situation. We got a pretty young core, not too many old guys except Pat Maroon. I guess hopefully to bring some Stanley Cup luck there. But that's all we have for this video. Let us know in the comments below what you think, if Alex Killorn should make that trip to Montreal to end his career there, or even before, whether Anaheim decides to go a different route with their future. But let us know down below. Hope you liked the video. If you did, make sure to like. Also, make sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss out on any news, breaking news, or rumors coming throughout this season. Coming very, very quick, just about a month away now. And we're going to get down to the wire, so you won't want to miss anything we have. But hope you liked the video. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day, and see you later.